city, we continue to grow. 73 citizen riots.
Come and get us! Throw out your weapons and prepare to be judged! Judge this! Court's adjourned.
Welcome to the Movie Club podcast. To your left, you will see. I don't even want to hear it. I know I can feel the judgment on the back of your head. People, we're back. Trae and Shakis doing this damn thing. And the first thing this man does when we start back is judge the fact that when I said left, I pointed right. And I know he did it in his head. He can't tell me different. You can't start off this way. How you doing, Shakis?
Man, I'm just chilling. By the way, it's the other left.
It's good that we're talking about the movie that we're talking about today because this judgmental son of a bitch.
I won't judge him.
You judging is going to help me talk about a movie that is near and dear to my heart. 1995's classic, Judge Dredd. And I do consider it a classic. I consider Judge Dredd a classic film. But you, not having seen the Judge Dredds, what'd you think?
This movie is dumb. But it's really fun. As long as you don't take this movie seriously, you'll end up having a lot of fun. And that's what I did. I had a lot of fun. Okay. So, not that I came into it not really thinking to take it seriously, but I learned not to take it very seriously in the first scene.
Yeah.
But it's you said this before the movie and you were so right. It's so 90s.
Oh, yeah.
It is the most 90s thing that I've seen recently.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my God. And Sylvester Stallone.
The law himself. Law.
I am the law. Is just it's just ridiculous. Everything is so 11 out of 10.
Mm-hmm.
Even the story is 11 out of 10. On the level of where it's trying to be at, and it's just a fun ride.
Okay.
I don't know if I would consider it a classic, but I'd have to revisit the era.
But I don't think it would because you see, I think of it as a classic because I watched this when I was a kid. You know what I mean? Like I was sitting there in front of the TV, had the Judge Dredd VHS, putting that in there. After we watched this, I went back into my Fortress of Solitude and revisited other 90s pulp action movies based off of comic books like The Shadow and The Phantom and all these like 90s comic book adaptations that I found just revering as a kid. Like these are VHS tapes that I wore the shit out. Let me tell you, son. So yeah, no, I consider this a classic. This was, I think, it's either this or Demolition Man was my first Sylvester Stallone movie. This is the first thing that introduced me to Sylvester Stallone. And I'm like, Sylvester Stallone's fucking awesome. Like that's immediately what goes to my head when I watch this film for the first time. I think I could be embellishing, but I was a kid.
That's what as a kid, like I probably would have liked this movie a lot more because they go through the effort of like trying to make Sylvester Stallone a lot cooler than he is, and he has his every motion is him trying to be cool. Severely,
like the way he even like walks in the movie, he's like it never seems like he's walking normally. He always seems like he's walking with his hands on his hip like Superman. You know what I mean? Like that's how he walks. And I'm so mad because the suit design, he has to wear these like Frankensteinian platform boots, and the motherfucker, it makes him walk like Frankenstein. He literally walks like Frankenstein throughout this whole movie to where if anybody is chasing him, I'm just like, how did they not capture him? Like how is he threatening to anybody when literally you could do a mild jog and get away from Judge Dredd?
Huh. Maybe Dredd is actually a horror movie villain this entire time.
He got the Michael Myers powers. Maybe. He just do that slow walk and then you just look around. He's like 5 miles away. Look back again. He's right there behind you, going, "I am the law."
Halt.
Oh, I knew you'd say that. I love this movie. I've never seen a movie try to make like catchphrases work so hard in a movie before. Where everything, like every other line is either "I am the law," "I knew you'd say that," "I'll be the judge of that." Like
I'll be the judge of that, bruh.
He's just trying to make everything stick. He's like, one of these is gonna go. Hey, you know what? It worked. It worked because I
am the law stuck.
Of course, and I think that might have been like the only one that was like comic, like poignant.
Mm-hmm. That's the one like from the comics.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't know if like I'll be the judge of that. Just might have been like a pun from the writers.
Yeah.
I knew you'd say that.
Just
might have been
generic.
just another generic like
yeah.
cool line or something like that. Again, I honestly, and I'll be honest with you, I'm not a big proponent of the Judge Dredd comics. I never really read the Judge Dredd comics. The art style kind of turned me off or whatever, and I was never really interested until watching this movie. And again, I was never able to, because I never had access to like a comic book shop when I was a kid. Mama had time to take me. She working 2 jobs, stuff like that. I got time to take you to go see them funny books. So
them funny books.
So I if I did find a comic, it was pretty much like Spider-Man or Batman or something like that. Some random issue somewhere, never really could find or read a Judge Dredd until like recently,
Yeah. I don't even know when I heard about Judge Dredd, but it was not until after I graduated high school, I'll tell you that. Mm-hmm. So there's no telling.
Right.
And the thing is, they have like some cool stuff in here, like some really actual cool stuff. Like the story is, I'm so used to the Steven version now. Are we separating spoilers?
Man, whatever, dog. This is 1995's Judge Dredd. Look, people, listen. If you ain't seen 1995's Judge Dredd, we are not the first person to talk about 1995's Judge Dredd. Speak your piece.
All right, so the whole evil brother and their clones thing, I'm just like, all right, so we're in Metal Gear Solid territory, okay.
Okay, but see,
I like that.
That is actually a storyline from the comics.
I like it. It's basically where I'm going with this. Is I actually really like it, and I think that they handled it well. I think like after the halfway point in the movie, the pacing is just ridiculously fast, but they're just trying to get the fuck out of there after getting in so far, because they could have like a whole like other storyline of them being in the cursed earth or whatever it's called. Like that could be a whole section of the movie by itself, and they just kind of, all right, we're out here. All right, let's get back into town and take care of it.
Out. Yeah.
Like it's the pacing for the movie is like really, really fast. And in a later movie club that we'll talk about, they slowed it down quite a bit, and I really enjoyed the pacing of that movie. So or that version of the film, if you will.
And he's talking about Dredd for those who.
Oh yeah.
He say.
I was being so ambiguous for no reason at all. Just for no reason at all. Yeah.
To be continued.
The Dredd reboot is 100 times better than this movie. And I just really like the pacing of that movie just so much better. It was so good. The villain, Rico. I feel like they could have gave him a little bit more time because he's crazy as hell, and I like how he's crazy as hell. And whoever the actor is,
Armand Assant,
he isn't like he isn't like cartoony or like.
Are you sure?
Weird, like he's not like a bad cartoony to me.
So
like
he's not like what are you based on? Like to compare it to another Sylvester Stallone movie that is exactly the same as this movie. and I'm gonna let you finish, but I just gotta say that the plot to Judge Dredd and Demolition Man is exactly the same. I'm gonna say this right now, and I didn't even realize that until I thought about it last night. I was like, this is so fucking simple. You have an over the top police officer facing off against a villain that he is close to in the future, that the main villain brings out after having been in prison. Have that villain been in prison, brings him out to do a deed, only for that villain to betray our main antagonist of the film.
I mean, there can only be one.
That's outstanding to me.
I'm trying to think of the other villain.
So like from Demolition Man?
Yeah, I'm trying to
Simon
think.
Phoenix, bro. Simon Says Die. Like he's like, I feel like Rico is like a few steps below Simon
I think
Phoenix.
so, but I like Simon more.
Because, and I'll tell you why, because they give Simon a lot more to do than they gave Rico in this movie. Because Simon Phoenix, from jump, it is Simon Phoenix doing all the bad stuff. And you see him actually do it. Wesley Snipes is out here kicking people. He's out here making jokes.
He really is kicked a lot of people.
That leg was straight most of the movie midair. This man was kicking so many people. And he was out here like trading like quips with Sylvester Stallone's character. I'm just going to call him Sylvester Stallone. He doesn't have a character name. He's just Sylvester Stallone. He's out here trading quips. John Spartan. That's what it was. I knew it was something stupid.
Say Demolition Man.
He's like, John Spartan? Is that you? They defrosted your ass? like he's just out here being crazily Wesley Snipes the whole entire time. And that allows you to like grow some attachment to your villain. Whereas Rico in this movie, Amon Desant, he gets time where he gets to like chew up the scenery, you know. Especially I love the scene where he's talking to Dredd and he's like, they're just having this battle quotation marks of ideals, and he's like, you're killing people. I mean, so it ends. You're breaking the law. I am the law. And it's just that's a great scene just to see how ridiculous they both can be. Yeah. But try to give some divergency between the two. But Rico doesn't really get to do anything.
He does
bad.
not. Like they give him a giant like ABC robot. Like, hate the name. And they don't really, they're like, oh, they banned these things 20 years ago, yada, yada. Okay. Like, it's a giant robot and you got dudes out here with pea shooters in comparison, pretty much. Like, yeah, it's going to be pretty powerful, but it doesn't really seem like imposing. It seems like really cartoony until he gets to like rip that one dude's arms off, which we don't even see the like end result of that. He's just kind of gone after that.
Well, you even see the blood splatter. It's a PG.
No, I mean it's just like they didn't have like a almost CG like dummy or something, or just like the head or something like that, or like his head and his torso.
Right, that's what I'm saying. It's like a PG film, and it's not gonna. You trying to get the R-rated version of Judge Dredd.
I guess so.
That's the sequel. That's
PG-13.
I
guess. I don't know.
But no, but that does speak to a lot of like what my problem is like with Rico. A lot of the stuff that he does is off camera, so like you see the assassinations and the explosions, but you don't get to see. Whereas with Simon Phoenix, you see him do the actions.
Everything.
He is, whenever there's some villainous happening, he is there on the scene, on the screen. Rico just like shows up later, like that was a part of my evil plan. The first time you get to see him actually like doing something like evil, or like show off like how evil he is. He's like, what was it? You want chaos? I am chaos. I'll show you chaos. And he just tips over like a freaking lamp or something in the room. And it's like, dude, your level of evil is annoying cat. Like that is your level of evil. It's like, no. And Rico's just like pushing his paw across the table. Like, I'm just going to do it. Like, that's not threatening. You know?
Not at all.
So like, in my opinion, Rico is an entertaining villain, but he is not a threatening one.
Not really. Not really at all. Like every time he has a chance to like do something evil, he gets talked out of doing something evil by Sylvester Stallone. One thing that I like and also simultaneously dislike is when they're having that quote battle, and he's like, what did he say? It was like he was explaining like how they were different. He was like, you follow the law to create order or something, or freedom or something like that, and it's like, I follow freedom to crush the law or some complete opposite type of thing. And I was like, this could have been more subtle and it could have been a little better. Don't have to splurt it out, you know. Yeah. Show, don't tell. Right. That's the prime principle right there, you know. Would have been nice. But, you know, it's nice since, you know, there's a movie where you get to turn your brain off. So.
And we'll talk about like because there is that difference that you're talking about in Dredd that we'll definitely talk about. But moving on, there's a fly on the wall that we have just like skirted past. Like, because people were like talking about Sylvester Stallone in this movie. He's Sylvester Stallone in an action movie. In my opinion, he is just the same. Other than like
he has not done anything different.
Saying of the word law and only the right side of his face moves, like looking like a stroke victim while he's delivering these lines. And honestly, just like his overacting, there's one part that we watched it with your girlfriend Sharon, who a lot of people have seen on the listened to on the movie club with other movies, and we talked about the death scene, like the Chief Justice's death scene, where it's just like, like it's Sylvester Stallone's opportunity to deliver a dramatic line, and he just looks like he's trying his hardest. He is living, oh baby. He is in front of the church trying to sing that song, and he is trying, but he just can't get the emotional range on his face.
It's like brother from Fast and the Furious. Just get that check.
Oh, Tyrese.
Just get that check. Just go ahead and get that check.
Just go get the check, bro. Like, what you doing?
They knew what they were getting when they were going, when they signed you. Like, we knew what we were getting for this.
I love that scene.
It's a shame.
I love that scene because Rob Schneider is in the background, just looking like, this is some bullshit. They really trying to get us to believe this shit right here. he looks unconvinced while this death scene is happening. That's what gets me. Rob Schneider can't be asked to even the great actor, the great thespian Rob Schneider can't be asked to be invested in this death scene. But speaking of Rob Schneider himself, Rob Schneider is in this movie.
Yeah, he was.
Rob Schneider had no business being in this
movie. He did not. He was useful at the end, and if the robot that I didn't like wasn't in the movie, he would have no place in the movie.
No place. There's a part, right? So Rob Schneider in this movie plays pretty much the sidekick character. Just around just to say a bunch of like corny, funny lines for the kids, pretty much. All right. And there's parts where Dredd arrests him, and Dredd himself gets framed for a crime he did not commit, and they get caught on cursed earth together. And after that scene, Dredd doesn't need him.
He was a means to an end.
To what end?
I don't know.
He wasn't a means to an end. Dredd didn't need him, and yet carries him through the rest of this movie. There's a part where they're going through a flame tunnel, and Rob Schneider literally falls and looks like, "Hey, come back and help me, motherfucker! You got legs!"
Like, all you gotta do. That's one of the things that I just hate about older movies is that trope. I've fallen and I can't get up. Do your legs just stop working after you fall once?
I guess
because like I've fallen before. Like, I get up and keep running.
You get like you mad, but you get up.
And you're hoping that the people that are ahead of you didn't see it so that they don't laugh at you.
And they always inevitably do.
They do.
People is me. People,
they do.
The people is me. But that, so like in that moment when the flame comes through, and like I would have just left his ass. I'm just gonna be honest,
bruh. Like, man, I don't know, cause I would have just went without him.
Right.
Would have just went without him, and then he can choose if he want to come if he want.
Like, you better get up. Look, either you gonna lay there and become a freshly ground, freshly burnt chicken patty. Or you gonna get the fuck up, get out here, because I gotta handle some business. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Like, this is, my evil brother is about to destroy the entirety of the government, but let me carry Rob Schneider on my back.
Huh? What? I don't know, man. Rob Schneider throughout this movie, like, and the thing is, it made me laugh. There are moments that Rob Schneider made me laugh. I'm gonna say it.
I'm disappointed in myself too.
A guilty pleasure for me. He made me laugh, but I can really concede that if anybody else watched this and came to me and was like, this movie is trash, and a part of the reason is Rob Schneider, I'd be like, you are 1,000% correct.
100%.
Please take your medal. I'm gonna sit here and watch it again. Like, that's kind of how I feel. So
I like the money pit.
I like the money pit. That's the answer to that question. So one last thing I'm gonna mention is the score. Because the score, though, the score is very nice. Makes this movie.
It makes it interesting, I'll tell you that.
Every time, dun, 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 dun. And I'm just like, oh, he man, yeah, I am the law. Like I was ready when he shows up the first time.
The first time he shows up, it's like it's actually the weirdest thing because it's actually a good scene, and then you're like, huh, okay, and then they disappoint you.
It just steadily the stocks drop.
It's like that is the climax.
It truly is. And we'll definitely see a difference between and I know I said that was the last thing I'll say, but you saying that mentioned the opening scene. There's definitely going to be a difference between how Dredd is perceived, because here Dredd is almost like a Captain America-esque hero, and in Dredd he's just the best cop on a corrupt police force.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, like this dude is like immortal in this movie. And I'm just like, okay, there's no danger here.
Right.
So, like I said, I'm just going to turn my brain off real quick and just sit back.
So I'm gonna say that I have to give this movie a grade. I'm stamping right at A grade, not for quality. But for just how fun it is.
Yeah.
And for an adaptation, like we always say, man, comic books adaptations weren't good until they hit the MCU era. And I'm going to have to disagree. I really will have to disagree because there are sub 2000 era comic book films that I think deserve, like these are good adaptations in a time when they shouldn't be good at all. They all failed.
Yeah.
At the box office.
Yeah, they did.
Yeah. Every single one did,
for sure.
Failed. Judge Dredd failed. The Shadow failed. The Phantom failed. All these movies failed, but found cult followings after the fact. And I think that showed, like, they stand the test of time. Somehow, like it's just, I don't even know like what to say right now. Like some kind of, like, definitely not like this isn't a movie to study. This is literally like you've been saying this entire time. Sit down, turn your brain off, get you that popcorn, and enjoy yourself because you will. Like,
this is a movie where you can definitely have a fun drinking game too.
Oh,
every time Judge Dredd says, "I am law,"
oh God,
every time he says, I knew you would see that. Every time he says, I'll be the judge of that. You'll be destroyed by 15 minutes in.
You'll have liver cancer.
But for my grade, I will give this a B minus.
Okay.
A B straight for the entirety of the film. Like you said, not for quality, but because it's actually entertaining and it's fun. That's what movies are supposed to be. They're supposed to be entertaining and fun. You gauge that however you will. It gets a minus because the last line of the movie is dumb. They should have used a different one. Instead of saying, I don't even remember which one he said because I'm probably going to say the one that I wanted him to say. I knew you would say that. I think that's what he said.
Yeah, he did. Yeah, he said that. Yeah.
I didn't like that as the final line. If it was going to be one of the catchphrases, it should have been, I am the law. But with a seductive voice, only because it would be dumber. Because it'd be dumber. But you had a better one, which was, I'll be the judge of that.
The judge of that.
But he still has to say it seductively, and that would be an even better line. But that is my... If I'm gonna... You know what? That's like the nittiest pick that I have. I don't give a fuck. I gave this movie a B. For as bad as it is, you know what? I'll take off for the smallest, whatever I want. But this is a B minus film. It's fun. Sylvester Stallone ain't great. We didn't even talk about Hershey, who was trying her best to do a good job here. Yeah. Diane Lane, she did an okay job, but with, like, given the context of everything else, she can't really shine because she doesn't really have much screen time. Yeah, that's just like and I've seen it in talking about these old school comic book adaptation movies. There's always that love. That's the problem, and again, this is something that will contrast with Dredd, is that there's a female character there just to be the love interest, and she's all through this movie she's going through trying to figure out what's going on with Dredd, but again, her part is superfluous because Dredd's already found out this information Yeah, she's
on his own.
like they have her like looking into like the front end of like who is this guy? He was in Dredd's locker. Dredd has this photo of this guy, and his family portrait is fake, and what does this all mean? And then Dredd shows up next time and it's like, yeah, I was test tube baby. I have an evil twin brother who framed me, who has the same DNA as me. We got to go stop him from killing the entire council, which he does, and save the government.
Like all of that we got from Dredd's side of the story. So all of the Hershey stuff just seems superfluous to me, and that's a shame.
Yeah,
you know what I mean, because no, you're right. Diane Lane is a great actress in this movie.
She's doing good.
They even give her the obligatory chick fight in here with crazy Asian scientists.
Yeah, they did. They did that in the Dredd movie too, where the female judge had to fight another female judge. Yeah, but I was just like, they didn't really have to do that. Yeah. But then she fights. She does other stuff too. She does other stuff too. But it's like it's a similarity I just don't like. I don't like it. And it's don't have to have chick fights in every movie that a chick's trying to do a thing. That's just me.
That's fair.
We're going to war.
You're a lot of fun to be with, Drake.
Mr. I am the law. You got a lot in common. I'll be the judge of that.
Thank you for listening to the podcast. Make sure that you check out the other shows that we have on the Facebook, the other main podcast that comes out every other Tuesday. Make sure you leave a like, share it with your friends and your family. Go check out our YouTube where we have content from other Production 1200 works. And make sure you follow us on the Instagram. We post sometimes there. We'll do more. We'll try. Maybe. Like us on iTunes podcast, rate and review. Give us them 5 stars. And we'll see you next time.